Hello friends. Today, I will tell you a heart-touching story. A story of love, dreams, pain, and hope. The story of the glassmaker's daughter. So sit back, close your eyes for a moment, and imagine the glow of 1,000 tiny lamps reflecting on glass. The kind of beauty that hides both tears and light. The spark of glass. In a small coastal town named Morella, there lived a humble glass maker named Elias Marin. His workshop was small, hidden between two crooked lanes that smelled of sea salt and burning wood. Every morning, the soft sound of the bell above his shop door announced his beginning, and every evening, the same bell rang when he locked it, tired but content. Elias was not rich, but he was known for his art. Glass so fine and clear that even sunlight blushed when it touched it. He poured his soul into every creation. Lamps, vases, ornaments, and windows for the village church. But the real light of his life was his daughter, Lyra. Lyra was 12 when her mother passed away. Since then, she had become her father's world. And the reason he smiled even when his hands were cut and burned by molten glass. Lyra loved watching the glowing furnaces, the swirling colors, and the way her father shaped beauty out of pain. But she never spoke much. She was a quiet child, always staring out toward the horizon, where the sea met the sky, the dream of light. One day, Lyra asked her father a strange question. "Papa, can glass hold the light forever?" Elias smiled and said, "Nothing holds light forever, my child. But if you shape it with love, it can shine longer than we ever will." Those words stayed with her. Years passed, and Lyra grew into a young woman, graceful, gentle, and full of imagination. She began helping her father in the shop. She would design delicate patterns and colors, inspired by the waves and clouds she saw outside their window. But time is not always kind. The trade of glass making began to fade. Factories in nearby towns started producing cheaper, faster glass. Customers stopped coming. Elias tried to smile through it, but Lyra could see the worry behind his eyes. One evening, when the shop was almost empty, she said softly, "Papa, let's make something no one else can make, something that comes from our hearts." Elias chuckled tiredly. "And what would that be, my dear?" Lyra's eyes sparkled. "A glass that holds the light of love." Elias looked at her, not understanding fully, but trusting her completely. The secret lamp. That night, they began their secret project. A lamp unlike any the world had ever seen. They melted colors of dawn and dusk, added traces of gold, and blew the glass slowly, carefully shaping it into a round, smooth form. It took weeks. The furnace burned late into the night. The neighbors would see a strange glow from the workshop windows, like a soft star that refused to fade. When the lamp was finally ready, Elias lifted it gently. It shimmered like captured sunrise. Lyra whispered, "Papa, this is the light of love." They placed the lamp in the window of the shop, and somehow, as if by fate, the next morning, a traveler passing through the town stopped in awe. He offered a great price for it. Elias refused. "This lamp is not for sale." But the traveler, a merchant from a city, smiled. "You may not sell this one, old man, but make me one like it, and I will make you both famous." The fire of change, fame. That word had never entered Elias's life before. But Lyra saw something else in the merchant's eyes, opportunity. Within months, their small shop turned into a workshop filled with orders. But happiness has a fragile shell, like glass. One fateful evening, as Elias worked alone, a strong wind rushed through the open door. The furnace flames leapt wild, and in seconds, fire engulfed the workshop. Lyra came running from their home nearby, screaming her father's name. The villagers tried to help, but the fire was too fierce. When the flames finally died down, the workshop was gone, and so was Elias. All that remained was shattered glass, glowing faintly in the ashes, like tears turned into light. The silence after. For days, Lyra didn't speak. The town mourned for the kind man who brought them light, but no one could comfort her. One night, she walked through the ruins of the workshop. Her eyes fell on a small piece of glass half buried in soot. It still reflected the moonlight. She picked it up, held it close to her chest, and whispered, "Papa, I will finish what we began. The daughter's promise. Lyra rebuilt the workshop piece by piece. It took months. Her hands burned. Her eyes stung from smoke, but she never gave up. She made lamps again, this time in memory of her father. Each lamp was unique, each one carrying a story. She called them echoes of light. People from across the land came to see her creations. They said her lamps glowed differently, warmer, softer, as if they carried the heartbeat of love inside. Lyra never told anyone her secret. Each lamp held a drop of her tears, mixed with the molten glass, a tribute to her father's spirit that still lived in every flicker of flame. The Festival of Light. 1 year later, the town decided to hold a festival to honor Elias Marin, the man who turned light into life. Lyra was asked to make the centerpiece, a grand glass sculpture that would stand in the middle of the town square. She worked day and night without rest. The sculpture took the shape of 2 hands holding a flame, a symbol of love and creation. On the night of the festival, when the sculpture was lit, the crowd gasped. The light within it shimmered and danced, and for a moment, they could almost see a gentle face smiling through the glow. Lyra smiled too, tears in her eyes. "Papa," she whispered, "you're home again." The light lives on. Years passed. Lyra became known far and wide as the glassmaker's daughter. Her art inspired others to find beauty in pain, hope in loss, and light in darkness. She trained young apprentices, teaching them not just how to make glass, but how to feel it. Glass, she would say, is fragile, just like life. But if you handle it with love, it can last forever. And whenever someone asked her where she learned that, she would look at the sky and smile. "From my father," she'd say. "He taught me how to hold light, not in my hands, but in my heart." The last lamp. When Lyra grew old, her hands trembled too much to work. She made one final lamp, small, simple, but glowing beautifully. She placed it in the window, just like her father once did. That night, a young child walking past asked her, "Lady, why is your lamp so bright?" Lyra smiled softly, "Because it's burning with love." The next morning, when the villagers came to see her, Lyra was gone, sitting peacefully beside the lamp, her face serene. The lamp still glowed, though the wick had burned out long ago. The people said it was her soul, her light, that kept shining. They placed that lamp beside her father's memorial. And even today, travelers say that when the moon is high and the sea wind blows, you can see a faint glow from the old workshop, like 2 souls shaping glass in the light of eternity. Dear friends, life, like glass, is fragile. But love, the light within, can make it shine forever, no matter how much pain, loss,